and welcome to This Blooming City, a production of White Plains Beautification Foundation. The foundation is an all-volunteer, nonprofit organization. We welcome everyone. For over half a century, our mission has been to beautify our city, making White Plains a splendid place to live, work, and play. You can see the fruits of our labor all over town in our many sponsored gardens, benches, and other gifts to the city, such as the flagpole in Tibbetts Park, a joint project with Rotary Club dedicated in 2004, the Sensory Garden, created for the sight impaired at Malmud Parklet on Carappa Street and dedicated in 2009, and WPBF's own Golden Anniversary Clock, commemorating the organization's 50th anniversary of service to our city, located at the intersection of Marich Avenue and Bloomingdale Road and dedicated in 2015. I am Silverman Marich, former co-president of the foundation and host of This Blooming City, the longest-running, continuously produced and hosted local show on White Plains Community Media. In fact, TBC just marked 29 years on this channel in June. Before I welcome our guest, I'd like to offer a tribute to a beloved WPBF board member, Thomasina Patron, who died a few days ago in December of 2019. A lifelong White Plains woman, Tommy was a member of the Gardella and Scatina families and was a registered nurse at White Plains Hospital, serving in the maternity ward where she provided skilled and nurturing care to babies and mothers. Tommy was a devoted wife to her husband, Paul, and a loving mother to Carol Ann and Evelyn. WPBF was lucky when Tommy joined our board and lent her considerable talents to our mission. We will miss her quick wit, big smile, and generosity of spirit. We offer our condolences to her surviving daughter, Evelyn, and her very large extended family. Tommy Patron will be deeply missed by all lucky enough to have known her. My guest today is new to TBC, but not to our city. Brittany Brandwein is the new Executive Director of White Plains Business Improvement District, or BID. Brittany previously served as BID's Director of Events and Business Promotions. Welcome, Brittany, and thanks for coming here today.
Thanks for having me, Marie.
Now let's start with just some basic information. Your address is
235 Marich Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
It is in the heart of downtown White Plains.
Right, and your phone number is
914-328-5166.
Right, and your website is WPBID.com. Okay,
exactly.
And now the BID was established around 1998?
That's correct. It was formed in 1998 by the property owners who got together.
Okay, and it's a nonprofit.
Yes.
And its mission really is to improve social and economic and the cultural life of White Plains.
That's correct.
And now there are about 142 properties.
About 142 plus properties, 300 plus businesses.
Wow, and that adds up to 5.9 million.
That's right.
5.9 million feet of office and retail
Correct.
space, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have, and also the organization really runs the gamut, doesn't it? You've got small businesses, national retailers, Fortune 500 companies, and so that's really great to have so many, to have such a diversity of businesses represented.
Absolutely. We try to think of it as a way to serve everyone. It's an urban suburban environment where, with a very diverse population in White Plains and the surrounding Westchester area,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's wonderful to have a parallel that way in the business community with small businesses, mid-size, all the way up to large companies.
Right, right. And now something that I find very interesting is your map, which was defined in 1998, correct?
Correct.
And so, for example, you have the north side of Barker Avenue,
The
right?
south side of Barker Avenue.
Oh, sorry, the
That's
south
okay.
side of Barker Avenue.
Yep.
And then,
That is our northernmost part. You could think of us as the BID as a kind of an upside down triangle.
okay,
So the south side of Barker Avenue all the way down to Carhart Avenue.
okay,
If you follow the Marich Avenue spine.
okay,
And then at the widest part, where Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard to North Broadway.
Ah, okay. And then something else that kind of interested me. Can you tell me? Can you explain a little bit to me about the Galleria and Macy's?
Absolutely. Yes, it's all funny to
and
all
which
of
is
us.
A member? Which is a member and which isn't?
Right. So we, again, in 1998, the property lines were drawn and written into law, and so for some reason, the Macy's is inside the bid, but the Gallery is not, even though the buildings are attached.
Yes.
So that's a very interesting thing, especially in this day and age of all the development boom that's happening, and seeing the direction of the city's going. We also don't include the Westchester Mall, because as we come down into that triangle, we are along Maple, and we only extend to Waller at that point.
Wow. Okay. So, and you have a map on your website.
Yes, it is on the website. It's also inside the dining guide, and we try to help educate the public about where we fall, particularly the business community, because we get a lot of calls and, can I take part in your services? Can I receive these services? Can I receive some of the benefits of the bid? And unfortunately, it's part of being a bid member falling within that geographic district.
Right.
So we can work with people and other businesses in other ways, such as sponsorships and event sponsorships, and that way, or marketing possibly, but buy ads, things like that.
Yes.
But our loyalty and mission is to the bid members.
Yes, but I think really though that the whole city benefits from that. I mean, and as you point out, event sponsors don't have to be members, correct?
Correct.
So anybody could do. Now, could a resident do that too? Could a resident sponsor
I suppose
events?
so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I
And
mean, I'm just curious.
I think very rarely, but maybe in my tenure, maybe one anonymous, individual donor, but for the most part, it's a, corporate or business sponsorship, community.
Yeah, yeah. And
but I agree with you, and I appreciate that, feeling like it extends, the benefits extend to the further parts of the city, and it's really for anyone who comes to downtown White Plains.
Yeah, yeah. Because we all benefit from a thriving downtown area, and for example too, you and I were talking about how important it is to have a safe environment down there as well, and working kind of hand in hand with the police, with the safety department, with people who obviously are also charged with keeping everybody safe and making everything a very pleasant experience
for sure
in downtown White Plains.
Yes, it's said that if you can walk through a city at night, or walk along, a pathway or a street at night, then you can do anything. That's the kind of place where you want to live.
Right.
And so the beginning of activity is there, and White Plains has a lot of great nightlife, wonderful restaurants, plenty of things to do, where back in 1998, perhaps, it wasn't as much.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reasons why the bid was formed. So, yes, we work hand in hand. Public safety is wonderful in the city of White Plains. They not only, keep us safe during the events and things, but on a day-to-day basis with the public, and working hand in hand, not, being with an obvious presence. It's an unassumed presence, which I think is the most beneficial way to be.
Right, yes. And so to that end, then, how important do you think White Plains beautification is to just the overall environment of the city then?
I mean, it's so wonderful to have White Plains Beautification here, because not one organization can do it all. You know, we have a very limited budget at the BID. I'm sure White Plains Beautification experiences, we're all nonprofit.
Right.
So it's wonderful to be able to leverage each other's strengths. And White Plains Beautification, I just realized how absolutely long they've been in existence.
Yes, over 50 years.
I mean, you can't ignore how stunning the florals are around, and the new sensory gardens, and it's just such a nice way to have a partner in White Plains Beautification, Performing Arts Center, Arts Westchester, because for me and for the BID, it's important to create meaningful experiences and a pleasant work environment or living environment, improving quality of life.
Yes, exactly.
In
And
White Plains. Beautification does that.
well, good, thank you. Shameless plug, but thank you. No, thank you, thank you. We appreciate your kind words, and of course we have at Beautification we have so many wonderful sponsors of our gardens, as I just mentioned, and our benches and all kinds of people who just contribute in so many different ways. So we're very lucky, because we do have a multi-generational donor base as well, and people who are interested in White Plains, and even people who leave White Plains but still continue to contribute. So I think that's a very important that's a very important thing.
Wonderful sense of community.
Yes, exactly, yeah. So it's good then that people feel safe and comfortable walking around downtown White Plains, particularly at night, and that there is that feeling of being able to walk down the avenue or whatever.
Right, because it translates into the day where it even is hustle and bustle.
Right. Yes, exactly. Because we have a few 100,000 people who come into the city every day.
Correct.
For business or whatever, and yet, our population is not as enormous as you would think. Those people go home, and we're here, and it's nice to. It's nice to be able to, go to a thriving downtown and visit all different shops and restaurants, and we certainly have a huge amount of all of everything that a major city has to offer. But I grew up in White Plains, so to me, White Plains still has that kind of small town feeling, and I went to school here too, and. So it just, for me, it has that small town feeling.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have to find that balance of keeping the understanding and accepting our urban environment, but while keeping that suburban charm of where White Plains became, because the only sure thing in life is change, right? So as we're evolving. In downtown, I think the city of White Plains, the mayor is always trying to keep in mind how we can best serve the entire community as much as possible.
Yes, and we have so many things going on in this city, so it's a beautiful thing to see. You know what? I just want to pause for station identification. If you've just joined us, you're watching This Blooming City, brought to you by White Plains Beautification Foundation. I am Marie Silverman Marich. And my guest today is Brittany Brandwein, new Executive Director of the White Plains BID, Business Improvement District. Now, since a major goal is to encourage people to go downtown, go shopping, go to the restaurants, go to the movies, and to plays, and all that, can we talk a little bit about parking, Brittany? I know it's not exactly your charge, but we do hear about it, even from other friends and people who will say to me, I really, there's so much in White Plains, but I always am wary of the parking because it seems that there's no free parking, even during holidays. I know there are some holidays where we do have free parking, but basically, we
of course we hear it too.
On that, yeah.
We hear it too, but. And we hear it sometimes, from our business community, and also, from regular community members. And I think that it's part of that finding the balance between the urban and suburban perceptions. You know, if you went to New York City, you wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't expect to park right in front of your
absolutely not.
the store, and you wouldn't even think about it. If you were driving down, you'd park in the garage.
Right.
You know, that you would find probably in advance or what have you, or peruse finding a street. And in White Plains, to be honest, we have a plethora of parking garages and lots, more than almost any other community in Westchester. But I think that that's sometimes a surprising fact, you know, for people to learn. So what we try to encourage is, you know, if you want to come to downtown White Plains and enjoy yourself kind of free, you know, not worrying about time or things, park in the garage and the lots. Like we just talked about safety, so you know, there should be no inhibition, and say, I'll enjoy that walk down the block. It's not a huge walk to anywhere. Everything's at your fingertips. You can also use the Park White Plains app that the city of White Plains had instituted, which I personally have found very helpful, because you can add the time right from your phone. So if you feel like you're at a movie and you didn't realize how long that film was going to be, then you can just extend your time, or say, you know what, I'm getting hungry, or it's a hot day and I want to, you know, grab an ice cream afterwards. It's, you know, you can do that. So we try to encourage people to use the Park White Plains app as well. And we did that with Small Business Saturday. On Small Business Saturday, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving every year, we gave 2 hours of free parking credit to people who use the Park White Plains app.
Oh, that's
so
great.
That's something that we tried to help do, to help the small businesses and drive people to downtown White Plains. Right. And there's free parking from the city on Christmas Day and New Year's Day.
Okay. So, well, that's something.
It's something. It's something.
What about on Sundays? I don't know.
And Sundays on the street. This is right. So everything is on the streets. On-street parking is free in those on those days. And on Sundays. But in the garages and lots, yes, you do have to pay.
Well, you know what? Listen, I always, you know, I always get plenty of quarters and just, you know, keep feeding them in. But you know, I think that you know, you're right. There are certainly places where you can park. It's not as if there's a real dearth of parking places. But you know, people have to do what they want to do. Obviously, you know.
I think we all have to understand, because what is it about the parking, right? That bothers us, right? And I think one of the things that you want to think about is convenience. Is it the money? Because it's typically just a dollar for an hour. That's very affordable. You know. So when you think about it, is it about the money or is it about the convenience? And so when you have the convenience, I think a lot of it's convenience, you know, once you get into this groove, and again, that's why I encourage the app, or if not, you know, like you said, keep your quarters in your car or something like that. But if you have that smartphone, it does make it a lot easier. And takes that kind of burden off.
Exactly. I always feel that people, but just put money in the meter, people, and
put a little extra, and then you won't get it.
Everything will be fine, because you know, and there are people who will not put money in a meter. They just take their chances. And so, you know, to them I say, well, then, you know, then if you do get caught, then, you know, don't complain, because of all those times that you should have gotten a ticket and didn't.
The grace periods are important.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. Yes. So now I wanted also to turn our attention to BID's programs as well. Brittany, for example, you just installed Art in Public Places, and we have it up on the monitor. So can you tell us a little bit about that? It's 3 large poetry art pieces that are
correct.
Along the Marich Avenue and East Post Road, right?
Yes. Okay. You know, on the precipice of this development boom and with a reduction in retail vacancies, we've morphed our art in vacant spaces into art in public places.
Right.
Art in public, yeah, that's an example of it being installed.
And that just happened recently.
Correct. It happened just, part of last week. Of course, we have to work around the weather.
Yes.
And what Art in Public Places, like I said, originated in 2015, and it's a partnership with Purchase College. We worked with a senior level community design class from Purchase College, and a poet named Judith Sloan, who interviewed different White Plains stakeholders, community members at every level, business, library, historians, about their experiences in White Plains, and really grasped kind of what it meant to people to be here and to experience it. And then the designers then interpret the texts and created these graphic designs. And then we partnered also with, this year, LMC L&R Company, who is doing this mixed-use development, is currently in construction, to put art along the walls of the construction site. So it's really nice to have this shift and change, because when we first started the program, it was to give and improve the streetscape, kind of the pedestrian experience of downtown. You know, instead of looking at vacant windows, we could have something beautiful. And I loved hearing what the White Plains Beautification did many years ago.
Yes, that was just for people who may not remember. Years ago, we had a similar project to yours, and it was called Windows of Opportunity, or WOO, where beautification members actually dressed up empty storefronts, you know, just to make them look more appealing and more interesting and all that stuff. So, and that was many years ago. In fact, that was, I think, really even before my time on the foundation. So, yeah, that was a long time ago.
It's nice to work with organizations and have worked together to have similar ideas.
Right. And then also, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Clean Sweep program, which has been around for quite a while, you know, designed to clean up White Plains. And from what I understand, you over 2,100 bags of garbage are collected monthly. I guess that's an average, right? Which listen, I'm glad that there, you know, that is being collected,
right,
and cleaned up. And that also includes the gum busting program as well, right? Where you have people who have machines that remove gum with steam and non-toxic chemicals, because for some reason people put their gum on the sidewalks.
I don't know how it gets there.
Rolling it up into a piece of paper and then tossing it into one of our many available garbage cans. So, and I know that that's been a very, very successful program. And then also, before we run out of time, can you tell us just a little bit about New Year's Eve? I know it's coming up very, very soon.
Absolutely.
Obviously on December 31st.
Yes.
Between from 10 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. at Main Street and Court Streets, and you're going to have a ball drop and confetti and fireworks by Zambelli. Yes, and there are different entries, right, where you have to go.
We partner with the City of White Plains, and obviously, again, safety is of our utmost priority. So we have gated access only gates. There are 4 different points of entry, and you can find all this information on our website, WPBID.com, at the 4 different access points. And we also this year have an ADA accessible viewing area for the stage, which is going to be right on Main Street and Court Street. And in order to ensure access in that ADA accessible area, you have to enter who have disabilities or things like that, impairments of some sort. You have to enter at Court Street. You should enter at Court Street and Martine Avenue, that gate, in order to make sure that you can have access to that.
Okay, great. And now also, I just, because we don't have too much time left, and I want to make sure that I mention also the Shop White Plains card for discounts around town. It costs $5, I think, and they can
$5 on the website.
On the website, right?
And we give it out for free sometimes at our events. But there are over 35 different businesses downtown who offer special deals or discounts. So you can obtain a Shop White Plains card via WPBID.com, so that you can peruse and receive these opportunities down in there.
Okay, great.
I should have one for you here.
Oh, terrific, terrific. Now,
and you can do that while enjoying the art in public places.
Right, exactly.
And carrying your dining guide.
There's so much to do in White Plains. And so before our time is up, Brittany, I just want to give out the bid information again. So the website is WPBID.com. And the number is 914-328-5168. And people can call you. Oh, I'm sorry, 5166. Okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
And people can call you if they want to sponsor events and participate in the bid. And the address is 235 Marich Avenue.
Correct.
Is it Suite 200?
Suite 200.
Okay, yes. 10605. And remember, you don't have to be a bid member to sponsor events or to see how...
Or to attend.
Or to attend, definitely, and to see how you can help in any way and be involved in White Plains BID, Business Improvement District. Okay. So, Brittany, our time is coming to an end. But thanks so much for telling us all about the White Plains BID, and please keep up the good work. And we'd love to have you come back and let us know what you're up to.
Thank you
BID.
So much. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you.
This was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you'd like more information about the Foundation's projects, programs, and events, please visit our website at WPBF.org. Catch up with This Blooming City there too. We have an archive of over 60 shows on topics such as gardening and the environment, local history, and people making a difference in our community. Email us at info@WPBF.org. Our mailing address is P.O. Box 1614, White Plains 10602. Reach us by phone at 917-696-2738, and our president is Mary Ann DeRosa. Thanks as always to our team at White Plains Community Media. Remember, we cannot make White Plains beautiful without you. We welcome all volunteers and all donations, large and small. We would love to have you join us. I am Marie Silverman Marich for White Plains Beautification Foundation. Until next time, have a blooming day every day in every way. Thanks for tuning in to This Blooming City.